Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Richard III, and today we get to hear from Buckingham in what the folio calls Act 3, Scene 4, otherwise known as the scene that never ends, what a lot of other versions call Act 3, Scene 5. So the stuff that's been going on, Edward is building up his team of allies that are going to help install him on the throne instead of his nephew Edward. His nephew Edward and his other nephew Richard are currently hanging out at the Tower until such time as Edward can and should be coronated. But Richard, in the meantime, had Queen Elizabeth's family members executed, Rivers and Grey and Vaughan. And when they tried to get Hastings, and then by extension Lord Stanley, on their side, Hastings wanted nothing to do with it, so Richard publicly called him a traitor, called for his head to be cut off. And yesterday we had Hastings sort of lamenting the fact that he should have listened to Margaret's curse a little bit more closely and paid attention to it. And he then also curses Lovell and Ratcliffe, who are the ones that are supposed to take him off and have him beheaded. So that was the end of Act 3, Scene 4, as it exists in lots of versions. So today we pick up at the beginning of Act 3, Scene 5, as it exists in lots of versions, though in the folio, remember, this is all still Act 3, Scene 4. And we have Richard and Buckingham come in, because remember, these two are tight bros, it's the two of them, and then Catesby are basically what Richard has on his side so far. So Richard and Buckingham come in, and they're both wearing like really crappy armor, as if they had just gotten dressed in a hurry. And Richard is like talking to Buckingham like, come on, man, you can do this. You can totally fake him out. You can pretend that all of this is going on. And Buckingham's like, yes, I can do it. I can pretend, all that kind of stuff. And the Lord Mayor and Catesby come in, and Richard and Buckingham are both like, oh my goodness, it's our, like, watch out, Lord Mayor, it's our enemies coming to attack us. And they put on this like show of being terrified of a coup and trying to like protect the crown and England and all that sort of stuff. But instead, in come Lovell and Ratcliffe, and they have Hastings' head, and they're like, here you go, here's the head of that traitor. And the Lord Mayor's kind of like, huh? And they're like, yeah, we caught him because he was conspiring to kill Richard. So he was a nasty, nasty traitor that was saying horrible things. And sorry, we had to kill him before we could consult with you. And the Lord Mayor's like, I guess that makes sense. And Buckingham says, I never looked for better at his hands after he once fell in with Mistress Shore. Yet had we not determined he should die until your lordship came to see his end, which now the loving haste of these our friends, something against our meanings, have prevented, because, my lord, I would have had you heard the traitor speak and timorously confess the manner and the purpose of his treasons, that you might well have signified the same unto the citizens, who haply may misconstrue us in him and wail his death. So this is Buckingham continuing to put on the show. He's like, yeah, we figured out, like, we've been mistrusting of Hastings for a while, and we figured out that he needed to die, but these two killed him a little too quick because we really wanted you to hear him talk about his own conspiracies and traitorous theories and that sort of thing, because then you, Lord Mayor, could be on our side in telling the people that it was right that Hastings had to die, because otherwise the general populace is going to think that we were in the wrong in killing him. There's so much gaslighting happening in this, and the Lord Mayor falls for it, and he's like, yeah, no, I get it, and he was vicious and not to be trusted, and I will help make the population, make the general people understand why Hastings had to die. And then he leaves, and then Richard has some things to say to Buckingham, which will come in the form of tomorrow's monologue. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.